everybody, welcome to this week's edition of Romance Roundup. I'm Sarah Humphreys and I'm your host, and today, or this week I should say, I'm bringing you something a little bit different. I know we usually focus on more traditional romance novels, but this week I have a fantastic interview with none other than Miss Anne Elizabeth. Anne Elizabeth is an amazing author. She actually writes for RT, Romantic Times Book Reviews, and she's got this very cool graphic novel series that's out. The first one I read, which is super fab, is none other than The Pulse of Power. This is absolutely different. I've never really been a comic book person, but I have to tell you something, this really pulled me in right from the beginning. And she and I are kindred spirits because we both grew up in Greenwich. So she's a Greenwich girl, so I couldn't help but feel like, you know, kindred. But in all seriousness, even though it's not a traditional romance novel, there is a romance in here. Yes, there is. So I'm going to now turn it right over to my interview with Anne Elizabeth. Enjoy, and be sure to pick up your copy of Pulse of Power and follow Tia's story. Take care. Hi.
Hi.
So tell me, first of all, we're here at the Book Expo of America. Is this your first time at BEA?
No. I've actually been to BEA a bunch of times.
What do you like best about coming to the Book Expo? What do you think is the best reason an author should come?
For authors, you can learn about the hottest books that are coming out, what authors are doing, what publishers are really looking for in terms of this year, next year, and the following year. An opportunity to chat with some of your favorite authors, and also an opportunity often to have a one-on-one with editors.
Great. So I was reading your first graphic novel there, Pulse of Power, and I have to say, as a former Greenwich resident myself, having grown up there, I couldn't help but chuckle at some of the references. So since you grew up in Greenwich, I would imagine there was a certain personal influence on your novel. Is there a little bit of you and Tia?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Except Tia's done a better job keeping her figure.
I was going to say, she's got quite a figure. I was looking at that and I was like, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers. She's got a nice figure. So what about the hero? And, well, there is I don't want to put any spoilers for people who read Pulse of Power. They should definitely read it, by the way. But was there anyone in particular who influenced that for you, or combination of people? Or?
Absolutely. Definitely my husband is in there. He's definitely has a little bit of the hero. All the guys have a little bit of that special ops, military, je ne sais quoi.
So, sorry. Ooh. So the building in the city, the Vivant, did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, it's perfect.
The Vivant. Now, that was a really interesting premise, that this building essentially is alive.
Yes.
Which I thought was so cool. So, and I noticed also that there were people disappearing. Somebody disappeared in the walls there. And then we never saw them again. I was like, what happened? They just went in the wall, like the building ate them. And that was it. Can you tell us, are we going to find out anything more about that?
Absolutely. The three kids who disappear into a doorway actually go into the Hall of Insides.
Hall of Insides.
The Hall of Insides. And that's going to be in a free web comic, which people can download or make a copy of, and they're essentially in the walls of Vivant. Now keep in mind, Vivant's a sentient, supernatural creature. So what happens when there's creatures running around inside your little veins? Well, there's some pretty fun, spooky stuff. So
oh my gosh, that is very cool. And when will that be available?
In June.
In June, and where?
You can find it, you should be able to find a link on my website, annelizabeth.net, or Sea Lion Books website.
Or Sea Lion Books website. And when does the sequel come out to Pulse of Power?
The Pendulum comes out at the New York Comic Con in October. The first books will debut here. And if it's anything like Pulse of Power, it'll probably sell out the first day, so we're hoping we're going to have many, many, many cases. I brought books to the New York Comic Con last year and sold out to the professionals even before the regular doors opened.
Oh my goodness. Now I have to say, the artwork is beautiful. So now you don't do the artwork?
No, I created the world and the characters,
yes,
and the captions and the words, and helped structure some of the different types of panels. I was guided by Elisa Whitney, who is an incredible editor. She was an editor at DC Comics for over 9 years, editing people like Neil Gaiman. And she taught me a tremendous amount about craft, which was just so invaluable, I can't even say enough. And the artist was Marcio, and he did a wonderful job. I think this was one of his first full-length comics, but he had a lot of passion and he had a lot of fun with the characters, and I think that's what you really hope for with an artist. And the artist who's taking over the project for the Pendulum, her name is Sia, and she actually lives in Hawaii.
Oh.
Stunningly beautiful woman in her own right, and her drawing is just magnificent. She has this flow to her work that's just very compelling, and people will get a glimpse of that in the Hall of Insights comic, because she also is doing that.
Oh, that is fantastic. So now you've got a lot going on here. You write a column for RT, correct?
Correct.
And you've got your graphic novels here with Tia's story, which we're all looking forward to following. And then you have something else coming up, do you not?
I do. I recently signed a 3-book contract with Source Books.
Yay!
And I'm going to be writing their West Coast Navy SEAL series. And I'm really excited. My husband is retired from SEAL Team 1. And I had a blast writing the first one, and I'm looking forward to writing the next 2 as well. It's a topic that's very close to my heart, of course, and there isn't anything I wouldn't do to support our military men and women. I cannot say thank you enough. Thank you to our military forces. We're grateful.
Thank you. Thank you, Anne Elizabeth. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now I will tell you what I've done for you. 50,000 tears I've cried.